And I guess I've only got a few minor nitpicks about this movie and stuff, because overall it was pretty good. I mean, again, story wise, I'm not going to complain because they didn't set out with a complex story in mind and it worked well for the story they had. World building was pretty good. Although one thing I didn't quite get was it was clearly done for Hollywood, but based off the way the Navi physiology works, I didn't see any point to them having loincloths because they don't have reproductive organs down there. That's my understanding anyway, so why would you need loincloths down there? It really seemed like something that was tacked on. And to be fair, I did, from a physiological perspective, I was kind of looking for it because I was kind of expecting the, oh Lord, Hollywood's going to do the whole pointless, have a species that doesn't necessarily have any mammary glands and give them some sort of brassiere of some sort just to cover up that area. But to be fair, they didn't take that approach. I mean, so they had like full top nudity. I mean, they were wearing necklaces and stuff that covered a bit of it, but it was only really the humans that were wearing the clothing there, so it worked pretty well in that sense. In that, whenever you do that kind of thing where you have an alien culture that conforms to modern human standards in a few way of prudishness in a few ways, it kills the suspension of disbelief a bit in my mind. And they managed to do it without it going R-rated or anything. And yeah, the designs it worked pretty well. But yeah, as I said, the Alien World very well constructed, a good solid movie. Not the strongest writing wise necessarily. District 9 was a more original movie, but the character arcs it was very straightforward though as far as the movie went. There was no question as to which side you were supposed to be on by the end of it. The character arcs were pretty well fleshed out. Pretty much everybody that got some screen time had a bit of a character arc to them, which worked out pretty well, I have to say. All the supporting characters had some sort of arc to them. And I guess the only real criticism I have of some of the character arcs is that standard Hollywood trope of, wah, humans are evil. You can't like humans because they're always doing stuff to screw things up. But, well, you kind of have to expect that in movies like this. And I'm quite honestly curious, given what James Cameron said about how he wants to do a couple of sequels, which, given the movie cost $500 million in 10 years of his time to make, I don't blame him for because of that whole initial investment. But given that I've read that he's talking about setting the sequel over 100 years in the future, I'm quite curious as to where he's going to go with it, because honestly, he could kind of go anywhere with the way the movie ends. I've got a few thoughts on what they could do for a sequel myself, but I'm not going to drop those here because of, again, possible spoilers for people who haven't seen the movie. But anyway, good solid movie. I don't think that it's necessary for... Oh wait, I just remembered I've got one other criticism as well, and this is just because of the screen aspect ratio, but I saw the movie in regular 3D, but I think after seeing it that seeing it in IMAX is far superior for the simple reason that there's only one thing that takes you out of the 3D immersion, and that's seeing the edges of the screen. In an IMAX theater, you wouldn't have that problem. So an IMAX would be far superior to a regular movie-going experience in seeing Avatar, I do have to say. But yeah, again, the 3D was well used. But yeah, solid movie. It's pretty open-ended, so I mean they can do sequels with it. It's not worth the whole escapism thing with the avatars and such. Really, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but again, those people are just come across to me as idiots in that sense. But I mean, really good, solid movie. I would recommend people see it. Definitely one of the better movies of 2009, I have to say. And it deserves to rake in the oodles and oodles of cash that it's making. Kudos to James Cameron for making a good flick. And, I mean, yeah, there's the romantic plot, but there's stuff there for everybody. For people that love visual effects, there's awesome visual effects that you won't think about being visual effects. So yeah, go see the movie. I do have to say that. This is General Techno, signing off.